Honoring your boundaries has nothing to do with changing other people's behavior. Okay? I want to say it again. Honoring your boundaries has nothing to do with changing other people's behavior. When we focus on our boundaries, it is a beautiful opportunity to take accountability for ourselves. It's an opportunity to shift our behavior. And because it's about changing our behavior, changing our mindset, changing our commitment to releasing our own joy, releasing our own trauma, releasing our dreams for our body to get it out into the world, that is why a lot of us don't honor our boundaries, right? So that's what we're talking about today, y'all. It's Perle Noire once again, your favorite burlesque icon and sensual Jiminy Cricket. Now let's get into it. Those of you who are here, if you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, okay? Because we're going to talk about honoring boundaries, and feel free at any time to ask a question, all right? So I had a few questions sent to me earlier, and I wanted to kind of get into those. Hopefully you all can hear me. Drop a 1 if you can hear me. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, honey bun. So again, we are focusing on honoring our boundaries. And I want to introduce this beautiful concept and practice that I've been doing with myself as a burlesque performer. I teach it to my burlesque students. I teach it in all of my workshops, and I do it every day before I get on this platform, before I decide to be great, before I decide to break a generational curse with my pure existence. I make sure that my body is ready for the power that I'm going to give to the world, right? So what you can do moving forward to kind of hone in on boundary setting for yourself is to start with yourself and start with your body, right? So before you get out of bed, allow yourself a moment to pause and actually greet the day, right? Allow yourself a moment to pause to touch your own body and connect with it. And one thing that you can do is go through your body from head to toe, either physically touching or, touching in your mind and just saying, do I have your consent today? Right? Feel free to put that in the chat right now. Come on, Daywalker. I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing, friend? Put it in the chat. Do I have your consent? So you just get in the habit of saying that. Beautiful mind. Do I have your consent to think powerful thoughts about myself? Right? Beautiful heart. Do I have your consent to be open today and to be mindful with whom or where or what I'm actually opening my heart to, right? Thank you so much for participating. Beautiful belly. Do I have your consent to be full? Root chakra. Do I have your consent to be present? So get in the habit of asking your body, asking your energy, do I have your consent? And practice that boundary setting with yourself, because we're feeling disconnected. We're feeling numb. We're feeling burnt out because we're not giving ourselves consent. And it is very convenient, y'all, to blame other people. Oh, the people at my job, they're wearing me thin. Oh, my family, they're disrespecting me. Oh, the community that I'm with, oh, they're treating me poorly. Well, that might be true, but what are you doing to protect that inner child? What are you doing to protect yourself? You have more power than you are honoring, yeah? Let me know how y'all feel about that so far. Feel free to just drop a 2 if these words are hitting you. So I had a few questions that were sent in to me previously. If you have any questions about boundary setting or implementing the art of burlesque to help you with that or to help you feel more empowered, feel free to ask those questions below. So the first question that I got was, how can I balance my vulnerability and, while I am trying to be professional, right? While I'm focused on my professional image. And this goes for creatives. This goes for people who have traditional jobs. Honoring your boundaries will help you feel brave enough to be open and vulnerable while also protecting your professional image. Being open and vulnerable doesn't mean you have to tell all of your business, y'all. Now, everyone knows how open I am, but I don't show every room in my house. Some rooms in my house are sacred. They're just for me or just for my chosen family or real family, right? There are people in my life that I don't share. I have a beautiful brother that I don't really share out in these internet streets because he's special to me, right? He's someone that I helped raise. This is a very sacred bond. So the vulnerability, think of it more as a moment to connect with people and let them know that you know what you're talking about, right? So when I talk about burlesque, I talk about being a survivor of sex trafficking, right? So my friend, who I thought was my friend at 19, she tricked me into prostitution. I thought I was going to her house for help and found myself tricked into prostitution. Shortly after surviving that, I found myself in New Orleans, and next thing I knew, I was in Tokyo. I was in Australia. I was touring with Dita Von Teese all over the world. And I was having these moments where I was just open and open and open. And I had to make a choice on how open I wanted to be, right? And even with this story, I choose to tell the story of surviving sex trafficking once I felt healed enough to say it. So when you want to honor your boundaries and you want to be open, but you still want to, be protective of yourself as a creative or a business professional or a CEO, you can be open and vulnerable. You just need to honor your boundaries. Which stories feel good to you? I feel good telling the story of surviving sex trafficking and how I use burlesque to help me heal from any kind of shame I felt with that. Right? Because burlesque gave me the opportunity to have full autonomy over my body. Burlesque gave me the opportunity to heal through storytelling. I was able to tell myself a different story. I wasn't going to limit myself to this moment in time that happened in the past. But that's one story that I'm willing to share because it also makes sense to share it, right? So with my calling, with my mission, with my burlesque business, I'm inviting people to trust their body again. I'm inviting people to reconnect. So of course it makes sense for me to tell a story about a time I had no control, I had no autonomy, and I had to reconnect to myself. Does that touch your spirit? Does that feel good? Is that resonating, right? As to how you can be open and vulnerable, but you still have to honor your own boundaries. Let me know in the chat. Feel free to just drop like a 3 if that resonated, if you don't want to type out anything. But I want to make it very clear. The way to balance the vulnerability as a creative, as a CEO, is to honor your boundaries. Another way you can focus on honoring your boundaries is practice telling the story you want to tell. So what type of vulnerability are you willing to, share or experience? Practice telling that story. Practice being vulnerable by yourself and see how your body feels, right? So this happened to me when I was 19, and I am just now telling the story at 44 years old, right? So again, we want to be mindful of our own journey when we are being open and vulnerable. Yes? Welcome to everyone who is joining. Today we're talking about honoring your boundaries and how in order to honor your boundaries, you have to be willing to change your own behavior. And one way to practice boundary setting with yourself when you wake up in the morning or before you do something intimate, like get online, like go to work, like have a connection with other people, ask your body for consent. Do I have your consent to do X, Y, and Z? All right, let's pause here and see if I have any questions about what we just discussed, which is balancing that vulnerability. Hopefully y'all are still with me here. Let's see. All right, let's go on to the next question that I received. So the next question was, how can I channel my nervous energy into a positive and confident, action with other people? We're going to go back to that boundary setting. So confidence, y'all, is not about feeling great all the time. Confidence is not about faking it until you make it. I don't believe in that because when you're actually doing the action, like right now I'm raising my hand, okay? It doesn't matter if I'm afraid to raise my hand, the hand is raising. So it's kind of impossible to fake it until you make it when you're actually doing the action. So we want to first shift our connection and relationship with confidence. For me, in my opinion, being confident has nothing to do with feeling good all the time. Being confident is about accepting your entire story, accepting that you are worthy of your story, accepting that you are worthy of change whenever you desire, accepting and honoring that you are not one part of your story. Drop a 1 if that is resonating with anyone. And so you can honor your boundaries. When you honor your boundaries more, that'll also help you feel more confident, because practicing honoring your boundaries consistently, focusing on things like self-consent, helps you trust your body more. And the more you allow yourself to trust your body, the more confident you will be. Okay? Now, the last question that I got, thank you, darling, for responding. The last question that I got was, how do you overcome the fear of being successful and the responsibilities that success brings? That goes back to honoring your boundaries. When you honor your boundaries, trust your body, trust that you're worthy, you will understand that you're worthy of the success, and you're also worthy of not burning yourself out when you are successful. You're worthy of saying no to people when you are successful. It's all about honoring your boundaries and self-consent. All right? I'm actually going to hop off of here. My little grandbaby is here. My burlesque grandbaby is here, y'all. So I'm going to go. But hopefully this was a beautiful experience for you all. And hopefully I helped you shift your mindset a little bit, right? So when we honor our boundaries, we don't have to be afraid of being successful. You'll decide how much you want to share of yourself when you are successful. You will decide that you don't have to say yes. You don't have to burn yourself out, right? I hope that this was helpful. I really do. I'm really excited. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. And if you want to dive deeper into this practice, I have a free ebook that you can grab. I have a workshop recording for you. And I'm also having a live free preview, a live workshop on February 13th, which is a beautiful time for me. Valentine's Day is all about me reclaiming my time. That was the time when my wedding was called off. And because of that, just like when I escaped being trafficked, it activated the next transition into my goddess power and energy, right? So I'll leave you with this. Allow yourself to be big. Allow yourself to imitate the sun. Don't shy away from your success. And as you are reaching success, understand that whoever you are when you are quote unquote poor, whoever you are with 1 follower is who you're going to be with 1 million. Whoever you are with $1 in the bank is who you will be with 1 million. So whatever your success is in your mind, understand that it's who you are now. So pay attention to who's in your atmosphere right now and imitate the sun in order to honor your boundaries. The sun isn't afraid to shine bright. The sun isn't afraid to be bold and big. The sun isn't afraid to give. However, the sun is the only thing that man cannot touch, because the sun does what? Come here, baby. The sun honors her boundaries. Yep. Okay? So you want to be open to honoring your boundaries. Think of yourself as the sun. The sun is very powerful.
Why?
But because she knows who she is, just like you. You're very powerful too. All right, y'all. I'm going to go spend some time with my burlesque family. I will see y'all soon. Go to the link in my bio to sign up for a free preview. If you're in New York this Saturday, I have 9 spots for my NYC workshop from 1 to 5. And I also have an online option as well. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Pow. Hey.